This is the newspaper review on TAP TV, and we're reaching you from Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and you are very much welcome to the program. My name is William Tabule, and I am right here with Victor Sioku. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Right, how's your weekend been?
Soft, but somehow
Tired about.
Yeah.
All right, same here. It was a busy weekend for me, but thank God it's a new week. And we are here to do what we do every other day. So don't forget that we go through the newspaper headlines alongside you. Alongside you, I mean that you can also be a part of it. Drop your comments, drop your reactions. Let's make this program very interactive. All right, we're going to go into the newspaper headlines for today, the 18th day in the month of September 2023, and we'll begin with the Daily Times newspaper. And you can also follow us on our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on X, formerly known as Twitter. All right, on the Daily Times, we have as headlines here: experts seek collaboration for improved e-payment system, identify inadequate infrastructure as greatest challenge. All right, go to the Daily Times newspaper to get details. We also see here as the headliner here, it says indefinite strike over fuel subsidy removal. LOC leaders meet as federal government moves to avert strike. Government calls labor to vital meeting today. Strike may begin this week or Monday. All right, we also see at the bottom part, it says UAE visa fallout. Atiku blasts Tinubu. Once of more propaganda ahead. Claims president has 15 media spokesmen for propaganda. Interesting one there.
Very.
And he's already started accusing the government of a lot of propaganda, that this government is not going to be doing things that are tangible. They're going to be talking a lot and not doing so much. Well, time will tell if that is true. We're also taking headlines still on the Daily Times. It says here, CJN set to inaugurate 9 justices September 20th as Ugi bows out. You find the story on page 5 of the Daily Trust. We also see a stormy moment in Unical Law Faculty. If you want to know what that story is about, page 5 of the Daily Times newspaper is where we get details. FCTA to demolish illegal structures at popular area, one shopping complex. Page 4 is where details is. And then lastly, at the very bottom strip, it says Tinubu nominates new ministers for Ministry of Youth. Page 5 is where you get details. All right, Victor, let me come to you. And I'd like us to talk about the very main story here, talking about indefinite strike over fuel subsidy removal. NSC leaders meet as federal government moves to avert strike. Well, it's been like this meeting between the federal government and the NLC has been like forever. Since the fuel subsidy removal was announced, Nigerians were plunged into some kind of untold hardship and or an unprepared situation where people are crying and lamenting every day. And the labor on its part, as part of its duty, has risen up to say, okay, we want to stand up for the people. But it looks as though the federal government has not been able to sit on a round table properly with this union for a long time. And once again, we're seeing them call for another meeting. What do you think is going on?
Well, it is a welcome development. Yes, they have tried to have this meeting before, and the NLC didn't show up. It was just the committee that came for the meeting.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it's looking like something cool might happen at this point in time. Because if you ask me, we don't want that strike to happen again.
Yeah.
I remember what just happened on the 1st of September. That was when they announced, within 4 days, that was when they announced for the strike that happened there recently on the 5th. Yes, one might also say that the strike did not really have so much impact or weight. But mind you, Nigeria keeps losing money whenever we run on strike.
Yeah.
Okay. But now the major issue about minimum wage one, and also how do Nigerians cope with their movements, cope with transportation.
Yeah.
Okay. Mind you, the government has set out plans, workable plans, if I might mention, with respect to the CNG plans.
Yeah.
Okay. But now, I don't know whether we have such patience to wait for it to go round. It's obvious that CNG might just be, it's obvious that it will be will I say, a huge substitute for petrol. So just imagine if you can lay hold on the transport system first before we start talking about the manufacturing, the transport economy before we start talking about the manufacturing. Mind you, the petrol and coal are being used for manufacturing since we don't have enough electric power in this country. Then you now ask the question, what about the part of the issues that we have? Because Nigerians cannot afford basic lifestyle. In 2019, that was when the minimum wage moved from 18,000 to 30,000. And we also saw the opposition from governors. Governors were not really good. We are not okay with that figure, claiming and saying that their states cannot afford to pay 30,000 naira. Okay. And there's something significant about the minimum wage that was increased in 2019. Mind you, at the time it got increased, or at the time, let's just even say they have, because it was much later that some states started adopting the minimum wage. But mind you, it happened in 2019, before COVID happened. Yeah. When COVID happened, inflation went gaga. Yeah. And even when the money was when workers were getting the impact of the 30,000 minimum wage, it wasn't still enough for workers. But now, it's obvious that the minimum wage of 30,000 naira back in those days, which was maybe around, maybe about, if I'm not mistaken, $100. Yeah, in 2019, dollar was in 200 and something naira. So we can actually say about $150 back in those days. But right now, you now ask the 30,000 naira, what's the issue? Dollar. We are talking about $35. You see that gap between the last 4 years. Nigerians that were spending $150 per month, which on the average is still not big money compared to $30 to $35 right now. Yeah. How can somebody survive $30? Okay? In a situation whereby you now also ask, why are Nigerians now leaving the country? Because by the time they check their counterparts outside the country, find out that, yes, one will also say, I know some persons out there over other clients will be like, oh, come on, we pay too many taxes. I'm sure that we still pay taxes. Just recently, we went for a function, and they calculated the bill, the taxes that we are taking off from that money was up to something percent. Yes, VAT is 7.5%, but yes, some places out there, you need to pay the government, you pay the state tax, you pay some excise and all manner of taxes that come inside, and by the time you just take a bottle of beer, you're paying all of that. Most of that on tax, a chunk of it on tax. So now the question now is, how much can they increase this minimum wage? We tried increasing it from 18,000 to 30,000, and it was because of our governor's pay. What then happens with the proposal of 200,000? For me, it's laughable. Proposing the movement from 30,000 to 200,000. We are talking about over 500% increment. Wow. Then ask the question of the revenue that the country gets. Have we gotten up to 5 times the revenue that we had in 2019 now? Okay. In a situation whereby the major source of our income, which is the oil, has not been in full capacity, it's not been producing in full scale. We are struggling to produce at 1.5 million barrels per day. Where we are now seeing that our target or our reach about 8 years ago was about 2.2 to 2.3 million barrels per day. We are now seeing that for us to hit that mark, it will take us up to 8 to 10 years to get back to what we were delivering back about 8 years ago. You find out that Nigeria is progressing. Okay, our pointers are dipping as the day goes by. So you know, how will the government be able to fund this money?
Okay, so some will say that the fuel subsidy money for the removal of the fuel subsidy. So it wasn't, Nigerians didn't support the fuel subsidy removal for them to, get into further suffering the way they are doing. It was supported because we believe that money can now go back into the economy and begin to improve the lives of Nigerians. But we have not been seeing that recently.
So you see, that also asks the question: are they going to use all these monies that have been made due to the fuel subsidy removal and pay worker salary? What about private sector? How will they now cope, knowing that, okay, look at what is happening from the government sector. Look at the margin that they are being paid. What about the private sector?
Will they be able to meet up?
They can't meet up, my brother.
And most of the employments are in the private sector, not the government.
Yes.
So how are they going to meet up? But then that's where the labor unions come in, where they're supposed to negotiate a favorable payment for both the private and the government parastatals. But then there has to be some kind of increase in the minimum wage. What is
sure?
The current 30,000 naira cannot.
But 200,000 for me is not realistic.
I believe it's a starting point.
200k per month.
It's a negotiation amount
Okay.
for the federal government to say, okay, we cannot do 200,000. Let's see whether can we do 100? Can we do 70k? But then you go right away and tell the federal government that 70,000, they're going to beat it down more. That's the work of the labor minister. And from the body language of the current labor minister, Solomon Lalong, I guess, he is going to do a lot. Because, I don't even like the fact that he has not been interfacing with the labor unions as frequently as he should be doing. Because in my own position, I feel with the current situation, the economic situation of Nigeria, and the highest level of inflation Nigeria can ever think of, he should be talking to the labor union. Workers are going through a lot at this time. Not just workers, families, people are doing everything to just keep their head up. So for the body language of the federal government, it hasn't been really nice. And I know that a lot of Nigerians believe that the labor unions have been bribed, so they haven't pushed enough for the federal government to, pay them attention. But I guess they're just doing their part, and this is the much they can be doing. So the labor minister should have a good conversation with the labor union, and a reasonable conclusion to come out of that conversation. It's not just having meetings upon meetings without any headway from it. And I want to believe that this meeting they are called for should have a headway. Let's have something we can really hold on to. All right, let's move away from that paper and we get into our next paper, and that will be the leadership newspaper, posted 18th in the month of September. And on the leadership, we have a headline here: Federal government labor meet today over planned indefinite strike. We also see here averted air crash. Adeleke alleges sabotage as NCAA assures safety. Right, interesting story about the governor of Osun State. All right, we see here at leadership Twitter Spaces, experts say UAE can't ignore Nigeria. We also see as headline: Congolese government denies rumors of coup attempt. And then to the main headline: impeachment plot. Why Asu Rock won't allow Akpabio's removal. Concerns over likely ripple effect in Rep. Senate not executive houseboy. PSOs. All right. Get details from the leadership newspaper. One injured as two buildings collapse in Lagos. Tinubu nominates Ibrahim Olawande as youth minister. And then lastly, CJN to inaugurate 9 appeal court justices. And you get details on page 87, page 6, and page 87 of the leadership newspaper. You get details of all of the stories that is right to you now. All right, let's get into the main conversation. That will be the impeachment plot against Akpabio. I was shocked to read this on the headlines because he has only been in office for barely 100 days. Yeah, they have not even celebrated their 100 days in office. And there has already been an impeachment plot against his position. What do you think is happening?
I think it's too early.
Yeah.
It's too early. We don't need such a, distraction right now, okay? We want everybody in government to be, his or her hands to be on deck. To We need to work. We need to take Nigeria out of this poverty, the level of poverty in this country. We need systems that will run effectively. So I just want to reach out to those people out there. I totally understand they might have they might use the word, they might have a strong point, okay, but I just hope that we just keep some stability right now. I think sometimes you just compromise on things. We just have to. We just have to be stable. It is just too early to have that. That might just shake the system.
True. I mean, they should leave the politics and then face governance at this time, because this is all politics. This whole story of trying to impeach Akpabio at this time, whether it's a rumor or it's true, and of course we know that in every rumor there's some level of truth to it, whether it's a rumor or it's true or it's concrete. I mean, this doesn't make any sense at this time. Reading the story, they said sources say that it's because Akpabio came out to say something about token being sent through. Well, token being sent to members of the Senate is not a new thing.
Yeah.
So coming out to say, are they angry that he revealed information that is very private to their temple or whatever that is?
Are they in the court?
Because it looks as though, you revealed very, private information. So you are not capable, but that's not it. That's not it. The time frame is too short enough to say that he's not even capable of leading the Senate. And if that be the case, I mean, it is very, very an unfair distraction at this time. So please, face governance and leave politics aside. At least let's see how things. Oh, they've also accused him of being a rubber stamp Senate leader, but trying to wonder.
It's too early for all
just
this.
Too early. Just too early. Like on what grounds would you say he's rubber stamp? I mean, government is just beginning. I mean, they tied it to the ministerial appointments, the way most of the ministers came and took a bow and left and all of that. But then, all the same, it's too early to say his leadership is rubber stamped or any of that. Please, let's face government.
But if you also ask, how many of those senators really objected him or objected the process of
bringing him to power?
No. I mean, with respect to the minister.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, how many of them were bold enough? Were bold enough to challenge this person and ask them tough questions? Okay.
I mean, because they brought this ministerial nominee to the entire house. It wasn't Akpabio alone. Everybody had a role to play in this appointment. So what's going on? Like I said, let them continue to do their best into this new government that Nigerians are very, very hopeful of. They really want something to come out of this that will really change a very, very, very bad state at this time. All right, let's move away from that story and take a very quick break right now. Once we come back, we will jump into our last paper for the day. Don't go anywhere. You stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey there. Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
All right, you're welcome back from that very short break, and thank you so much for watching up to this time. We're still here doing the newspaper headlines review. And this time we're going to our last paper, and that would be the New Telegraph. And on the New Telegraph here, we have a headline: Algeria accounts for 55% of Africa's gas reserves. And details from page 8 of the New Telegraph newspaper. We also see here, Tinubu operating propaganda regime, says Atiku. Ondo party leaders beat commissioner over Palace. Did you see that video? The video. I mean, a lot of very comic and crazy things happening there. And to think that was a commissioner of some sort in those states going out to have a 3-4 fight with the ACC leader. It was really bad.
Very, very bad.
Shameful. Yeah, got injured. I'm even trying to think the level of relationship. Commissioner, APC ward leader or chairman. I mean, that's quite a gap. How did they come to a point where they are at that kind of class?
Very embarrassing.
Very, very, very. But then find details of that story on page 5 and 29 of the New Telegraph newspaper. Also, we see here averted crash. Adeleke's aide alleges sabotage. Serap takes Tinubu to court over Wike Omahi orders retirement benefits. Ah, wow, very interesting story. Where Serap is again coming to point their searchlight on the government, saying, I don't understand how Tinubu government is also encouraging that. These, it has been there, the argument has been there, where people come out as governors and get to the Senate and collect the benefits from retirement as governor, and also take that from the Senate concurrently. I mean, and then crazy, we're saying we want to cut the cost of governance, but this is happening right in front of you, and you're not doing anything about it. And you come out and say, we're cutting the cost of governance by doing this and that. Can we start from checking the level of benefits these politicians are taking, thereby making these political offices so juicy? Yeah. And that's why you see people like the ones we were just talking about, the commissioner and the chairman fighting over what? Over what? Yeah, that case, they said they were fighting over palliative distribution. How is this concerned? Is it there? Or, I mean, we're expecting to see people, the poor people coming to collect palliative and fighting, not these people of there. So I don't know what's going on. But then, here, they're saying Serap is taking Tinubu to court. I don't know if Serap is always taking the government to court. But we're hoping that one day they will get, a favorable judgment, something like this one. And so, okay, can you complete this part of your, benefit to your state or to something else to help government run properly while you take this one? Then I don't know whether they'll get anything out of it. It's already happening in the Senate. We have so much governors retiring to the Senate and collecting benefits as ex-governors and senators. For a job, you say that you are coming to staff to people. That is what. And then you still with so much the people's money, because all those monies are coming from taxpayers. And then, so that's what the wrong government is. And then you take benefits from both. And then look at workers. Most of the workers in their in these states that we're talking about have not received salary, especially the retired ones. The retirees in most of these states, they mentioned Ebonyi State and River State. Most of them see them on the street here. Yeah. Protesting every day of their benefits. They work for 35 years, the state governors are owing them. Whereas these governors are, smiling away. And so it's really unfair. We hope that Serap gets something out of this. But let's go on with other stories. We also see here 577 billion naira anchor borrowers outstanding payments. Security operatives move against defaulters as repayment deadline expires today. Beneficiaries protest as CBN takes steps to recover COVID-19 loans. Wow, so much is happening. All right, page 2 and 26 is where details of that story is. You also see a flood wrecked havoc in Ogun community, sacks over 200 households in Delta, one city in Plateau, right? And then mobile police set up special team to probe cause of death. May exhume body, right? Page 6 is where you get details. And at the very bottom, the federal government said to stop indefinite strike, invite NLC, workers involved in over auditor general imposition at SCC area council. Alright, and also economic challenges, RMA FE to postpone political office holders' salaries review. Alright, it's crazy where you get details of that story. Alright, so let's go to some of the issues that kept crossing my mind. One of them is coming from Osun State, where the governor's aide, Adeleke's aide, has alleged sabotage in a near plane crash situation that happened on the 5th of September or so, where the governor's plane, upon taxiing to the runway, they discovered that the engine had somehow been tampered, and they had to go back and then evacuated the governor. And now they're crying foul. Something is wrong. What do you think happened?
Okay. What do I think happened? For me, I think it needs to be more investigated properly. Okay. I wouldn't want us to jump into conclusion because one part is saying that it is the bed net that area that they always have that attack by birds that do net in the what do you call it, in the hangar. Yeah. And also then Adeleke now came with his own testament that the engine must have been tampered. They can see physically that the engine has been tampered. Okay. It's really sad that we are getting this thing, but it's also a thing of joy that there was no crash.
Yeah.
But then you now wonder. So two things. Could it be you find out that there's human error here, and not just human error, negligence. Because one side is coming from the part that breast there. Can't you check all these things before taking
It's their job to always ensure that everything is in order before they leave and they take the test. So
the worst case scenario, if it's not about the engine part, that one will be just over the roof.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But then, I'm also shocked, or will I say not shocked, I also don't feel nice that this is coming from Lagos, because the plan was to travel from Lagos to Abuja.
Yeah.
So, this happens in the Lagos airport. This is supposed to be our number one airport in the country, whether we like it or not. Then you now ask the question, what if they cannot find out or manage aircraft in Lagos, what then happens to other cities? Imo State, let's be cities, Calabar. Let me say even Calabar. That you know that Calabar is not active. The other day we were talking about the airports that are active. For me, I also believe that the airports are too much. Airports in this country are too much. Many of them are not working. Many of them say they just already run once in a week. Is that an airport? How do you manage government expenses there? When you need to pay people salaries, and at the end of it, just only one aircraft that comes in a week. How do you not make profit in such business? It's not better you shut that business down. But yes, some of these governors also use that opportunity to siphon money. Why big elephant project? Okay, but that aside, this is not the kind of news we should be hearing from a place like Lagos or Abuja. It's just we should have overgrown all these levels. We should have good patterns.
Sure. Well, I want to believe that it will be properly investigated by the NCA and all the agencies related to that matter. And also, I'd like us to talk about the 577 billion naira Anchor outstanding payment. So, the CBN is accusing a lot of the organizations and individuals that participate in that loan that they have refused to pay back, and they are evading, security agencies. You remember this scheme was inaugurated back in 2016 by the Buhari government to help our agricultural system, at least help people that are into agriculture within the country to generate more internal, agricultural produce, and also reduce importation of things like rice and grains and all of that. But the CBN today is crying and saying, all right, we now have to go to the length of getting security agencies like the DSS and the police and the ESPC to go after these individuals to change actual loans and all of that. What do you think of that story?
Yeah, it's so sad that we have a very bad culture in this country. Okay,
what is the government loan?
Yeah, what is the government loan? We tend to see that something that is okay. So I think it's not a bad idea for them to go after their money.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea because what we are talking about here is also 1.1 trillion naira that has been sent out. That's a lot of money. Okay, and it's also stopping other persons from gaining access to this money because the money was to serve different kinds of people over a period of time. There are people queuing up to get this money so that their businesses can get on. So it is something that needs to be looked at.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's like you rightly said, most Nigerians, once it's government loan, they just tell you straight up that this is too much. They believe that government will not come back for it. But this was government, this was the CBN in collaboration with the federal government to help the agricultural sector. And we've also heard from many entrepreneurs and business owners in Nigeria that government doesn't support them. And so the peace program was meant to support them. But unfortunately, a few persons have, about, I think they said over 2 million persons were beneficiaries of these loans, but they have refused to pay back. So government wants to get their money back. And they are trying to run away and all of that. So it's quite unfortunate that we see this kind of behavior. They pay back this money and let them pump it back into other farmers, that are willing to judiciously use this money to improve their businesses. But of course, we also saw testimonies of people that took the loan and have been able to pay back and say, okay, it really helped them. So yeah, it's a good move by the federal government to recover those monies that are being held back by these people. All right, I want to thank you so much, Victor. That's when we draw the curtain for today. Don't forget that you can also drop your comments and your reactions, and we'd love to hear from you. And also connect with us on all our social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, and of course on X, formerly known as Twitter. Until next time, we'll come your way again. My name is William Sabule, and this has been the News Story Review here on TAP TV.